Wildfires have caused millions of dollars in damage, left hundreds of people homeless, and claimed at least one fatality so far this year. State agencies and charitable organizations are now focused on providing the assistance people need, and the entire state is hoping for a break in the weather to ease the high fire danger that is gripping Oklahoma.
Weather conditions earlier this month created a perfect storm for the fires that have scorched more than 100,000 acres in northeast and central Oklahoma. Creek County has been hardest hit, with nearly 60,000 acres burned, but Oklahoma, Payne, and Cleveland counties have also suffered extensive damage. With the state still reeling from the effects of the drought, it doesn't take much for an inferno to race across the parched landscape.
We simply had very high temperatures, we had low humidities, and we had high winds. And when you're going to see that, you're going to have the fires that basically clip from treetop to treetop, the embers that go into people's attics, and it's just going to be a very hard firefight. Michael Ann Uten is Deputy Director of the Department of Emergency Management. She says while helicopters from the National Guard and the Bureau of Indian Affairs have helped to battle the fires, the bulk of the effort has come from local fire departments. We know a lot of resources have been used at all these fires that have occurred over the last 10 days, and they'll continue to be used because, of course, the wildfire threat is not over. That has put a strain on local resources, although Uten says the federal government has awarded 7 fire management assistance grants to assist in firefighting efforts. The grant money will go to help refill their coffers, take care of things like fuel. There's a 75% reimbursement available here for eligible expenses like the fuel that they're expending out there, the expenses like how they're wearing down all their equipment, and then there's a lot of other expenses that are certainly reimbursable. The lack of any significant rain this summer has heightened the danger. The latest report from the U.S. Drought Monitor shows more than 96% of the states suffering from extreme to exceptional drought. Those arid conditions have created a tinderbox ready to explode. So far, we've been able to handle most of this with state resources. Now, if it continues to go, much worse any longer, then we certainly can look at some additional resources. But understand, most of the states around us certainly are in some of the similar situations. In response to the worsening conditions, Governor Mary Fallin has issued a statewide burn ban. On Thursday, the governor joined state and federal officials on a tour of affected areas to assess the damage to homes and businesses, the first step toward applying for federal assistance. We're working with local officials. We're working with trying to get the FEMA teams in here, certainly, to try to make that happen as soon as possible. We do know that people are out there hurting. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to them, certainly, to try to get as much assistance as possible in here. For many, time is of the essence. It can never happen fast enough, and we understand that to someone especially someone who's lost their home at this point. But there is a process we have to follow, and we are working to do that. And then once that's completed, we would hope it would be completed no later than next week, and the governor then would be in a position to make that request. Uten stresses any federal aid will go toward losses that are not covered by insurance. If they do have insurance, homeowners insurance or other property insurance, if they haven't made that call to their insurance agent by now, they need to do so. Additionally, they need to make sure they've talked to the Red Cross. We're working with our partners in the Red Cross as well as the Insurance Commissioner's Office to know where all the pockets of damage are. Other charitable organizations are also stepping up their recovery efforts. Sam Porter is the state director of Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Teams.
We'll have 2 headquarters set up, one in Cleveland County, one in Creek County, and we're going to be helping primarily individuals that are underinsured or non-insured. And there's a large percentage of the fire victims that have no insurance whatsoever.
Many of those victims can be found in Luther, a small community located about 25 miles northeast of Oklahoma City. The flames there destroyed dozens of homes before firefighters were able to regain control. While the houses are a total loss, Porter says families are still sifting through the ashes in hopes of recovering cherished memories.
They'll sort through any area of the home that they feel like they need to maybe sift to find valuables. A lot of people want to find their jewelry, but their jewelry has returned to nugget stage after
an intense fire. It melts everything down, but we can find gold and silver and things like that within the home.
Assistance is also being provided by the Churches of Christ in Luther. Ruby Stahl runs the community service center there.
They come in and we give them money right off the bat. So if they need a motel, they need a place to stay, they can go get whatever they need at that moment. It's not a great big, but it's money. And then they can shop in our store and get clothes they need right now. Then they go to our warehouse and they get toothpaste, all the hygiene stuff they need.
Her emotions threaten to overwhelm her as she recalls the generosity of friends and neighbors.
It's beyond words how good they are. I mean, everybody just comes and helps and makes sure everything goes like it should. I mean, they're here. They were here. I came in at 7 this morning. Every day I've come in at 7 to 8 o'clock, and there's people here all the time working. There's people here bringing things in, bringing items in that people can use.
In southern Cleveland County, the story is much the same as victims struggle to recover from the devastating fires. Here at the Relief Center outside Noble, agencies such as the Red Cross and Salvation Army have come together with others to provide assistance. There are even a couple of therapy dogs helping to ease the pain of those who have lost everything. The Salvation Army's Kristen Martin says more than 100 families in the area have suffered some degree of loss.
The Salvation Army is offering Visa gift cards for families that have been affected by the fire. Also in our Norman offices, we're offering food, clothing vouchers, shelter, any of those things that people are in need of can visit our offices and get case management and referrals here at the Relief Center.
For most of the victims, recovery is likely to take some time.
The majority of families that we're meeting with don't have insurance. So their needs are going to be very great and probably are not going to be met for a while. So we're going to need to try to work with those families and long-term case manage those and try to get as much community resources for those families as possible.
Meanwhile, everyone is keeping a watchful eye on the sky, awaiting the rains which they hope will finally ease the extreme fire danger.